Somewhere in America, a third-round pick's getting first-team reps, a veteran running back's in the best shape of his life, and a head coach is using the words, "We'll ride the hot hand." It's not a horror movie, it's training camp. Here we go. What up, everybody? We're back. It's another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football. It's Brian, it's Brendan, and we're in for a treat today. We're talking some camp battles. Who's figuring out? It's the running back and the wide receiver room is really all we're going to talk about because this guy won't let me talk about some quarterback issues. But we're going to keep the Colts talk to a minimum. How you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. I had to go buy a new hat because you like to make fun of me because I only have the same hat. So screw you, Brian.
It's more so I just like keep tabs. It's more of a fun game. All right, when I pop on, what hat is it going to be today?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go to like Lids today and just buy like 8 more hats so I don't have to hear it from you anymore.
The real trick is if you can get it swapped mid-show and me not even notice. That would be the fun of it.
All right.
And folks, if you want to keep up with all of Brennan's fun hatness and you're watching on the podcast, come on and hang over on YouTube where we got the video feed for you. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, true. And then possibly play in our fantasy football league, Brian.
Yeah, we got a listener league. You want to tell the people about that?
Yeah, so basically if you just want to comment below, send us like, hey, I want to be in the league. You know, it's a chance to win $100. All I got to do is just beat myself or Brian in the league. We'll have a draft here probably at the end of this month in August. A little live draft on YouTube, have some fun. So, you know, whatever we can get 10, 12, 14, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, have fun with us.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a great time. 10-man, 12-man, whatever we have to do to fill it up. Free league to play, but of course, champion takes home $100. We got some news. Let's get into some news today. How about that?
We do have some news.
How about that? Isn't that so much fun?
It's so much fun. When doesn't cover your whole face?
Yeah, I try not to. I want to give the people a little look at it. Let's start with the good stuff here. Kyren Williams, he gets paid. There's people holding the dynasty bag of Kyren. Oh my gosh, am I going to be left holding it? He's there. He's safe. 3 more years, $33 million, 23 fully guaranteed. He may not have gotten high dollar, but I feel like it's pretty good for both sides.
Yeah, honestly, it's a really good deal for the Rams, honestly. I think he kind of sold himself a little bit short, but I think, it's where he wanted to be all along. He said he wanted to be with the Rams. I'm kind of surprised. Obviously, Sean McVay had the infamous quote of, "I'll never pay a running back again." But hey, this guy doesn't have, arthritis in his knee, so that's a good start.
You wonder if watching Jarquez Hunter out there at camp maybe had anything to do with it. He's like, all right, maybe I just need to get pen to paper and get this thing locked up here. Maybe not playing hardball like some of these other guys.
Yeah, a lot of Jarquez Hunter's fans were deeply saddened today for this news, but I still think he's going to see the field. It's just I still think Kyren is now pretty safe for redraft and dynasty going forward.
I agree with that. Yeah, Jarquez Hunter, like whether you're enamored with the talent or not, he's not taking over this backfield. We've gotten talks of Sean McVay maybe splitting it up a little bit, but that's fine. Even if Kyren gives up 15%, he still has over 70% of the backfield. So I think we're okay there. It's mainly the pass catching. I feel like that's most of the talk that we've had on the fear for him.
Now with this signing, has he moved a little bit in your rankings? I think for me, I think I'm taking him now. I think I'm taking him ahead of Brees just right now. I just feel a little more after with all the news going on with the Jets, but I just feel a little more comfortable with Kyren as my RB1.
I do have him there right now. I've got him at 11th in my rankings.
Okay.
What else we have? James Cook. He's tearing it up there. He got a contract, right? Psych.
Business is his favorite word.
Yeah, sitting out of camp. Hold in is what we've got here. Can't get fined because he's just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll work something out, but I think at the end of the day, he's going to play. I don't think he's going to sit out. I think he's still going to play. And so I still have him where he's at with RB rankings. I'm not in the presumption that he's going to miss week 1. I don't know about you.
I don't have that he's going to miss week 1. I have him lower in my ranks. I've got him a lot closer to RB20 than I have all offseason. I think a lot of that has to do with, we don't necessarily predict injuries, but we know that when guys miss the preseason, when they miss time out of camp, it usually comes back in the form of an injury during the season. Running backs naturally miss. I think it's on average 3 to 4 games a season. So adding in this in there, I mean, Ray Davis was just fine. Yeah, was he not? Was he great last year? No, absolutely not. But his stat line was he absolutely crushed when he got the whole backfield to himself. So I think I'm just baking in. We might get not only the touchdown reduction, but also a little Ray Davis action as well. You taking him lower?
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower on James Cook. I guess I'm okay with him being my RB2. I like a lot of other guys ahead of him. I like Chuba. I like James Conner. I'm kind of in the fits between him and Alvin Kamara right now. So it's more so of just preference.
DeAndre Swift or James Cook?
I'll still give the nod to James Cook.
I think you could talk me into Swift.
Yeah, he could though, very much so.
Khalil Shakir sprained an ankle. I think it was a high ankle sprain week to week. It's not going to be near as bad as what we talked about with Isaiah likely getting surgery, but it's going to be presumed that he's going to be out for a little bit. Keon Coleman, is that steaming him up for you? Are you going to fall into the Elijah Moore trap, or is this just news?
This is no, I still think this is something because like he got the bag this offseason. They made sure to pay him. It's 4 to 5 weeks, season one or week one for them. I think they play the Ravens as it's on Sunday Night Football. So it's a big game for them. I mean, it is something at the end of the day. Like I very much liked him as a full point PPR as my wide receiver 3. I thought he'd be trustworthy. I think this might linger him a little bit going into the season. So, I mean, this is a chance for Keon to come out. But if he's had some very up and down, I guess, from the reports I've read, but obviously Josh Palmer has been the favorite supposedly. So who really knows? Really, it's just Josh Allen is the one you want to own out of all of this.
Yeah, we saw him being MVP last year without a stud wide receiver. No reason he couldn't do it again.
Yes.
Joe Flacco, presumed starter, is the quote we're getting from coaches right now. I kind of think that was just a given, especially with the fact that Dylan Gabriel has a hamstring injury. Kenny Pickett has a hamstring injury. Sure, Sanders, I saw highlights of him throwing, but I've also heard the Browns talk about maybe he has a shoulder injury or just
He
soreness.
does have a shoulder injury, yeah.
So we're in the mix of it. So what did they do? They went out and got Tyler Huntley. Yeah, that guy.
Snoop.
So are you more into the idea of drafting these Njokus and Judys with the idea that we'll probably get Flacco at least the first month before they start, playing the shell game?
I think we'll get Flacco for at least 2 months, if we're being honest. I think we'll get him till the wheels fall off or something changes.
That happened quick last year with the Colts. I think he got 2 weeks before we changed our tune on whether or not he should be out there.
Yeah, but I also think Stefanski is a really good head coach, so I think he's going to make it work. He's made it work before. I see Judy. They have 2 competent receivers. They have a good tight end. The running back room is the only one that's kind of in the question mark right now, but we'll see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with taking the shot with the Browns, but I don't want to. It's not a sexy pick.
It's not.
What is a sexy pick? Keenan Allen, taking him. He might have a team soon. Evidently, there's a handful of teams in the mix, but he is visiting the Chargers. As of the time of this recording, he hasn't signed anything yet. What does this do to Lad McConkey with the presumption that he signs with the Chargers?
I mean, I wasn't high on Lad to begin with. I think if Keenan does go there, he's definitely going to eat some targets. He does have familiarity with Justin Herbert, so it's not like it's some new person throwing him the football. This is a guy Herbert was throwing him the football his rookie season. So this is not like, some new guy coming in. I think it'll bump Lad down to my rankings. I have him already pretty lower than most, so I think it might just stay there a little bit. I think I'll still have Lad over T. Higgins, over Marvin Harrison, but I think his stat line is what will drop a little bit.
Yeah, we still saw Keenan Allen last year, a 10 target game, 15, 13, 13. The guy can go out there and still, he finds the sweet spot. He may not be
really great route runner.
Absolutely, absolutely. So am I going out there and actually taking him in your standard 10, 12 redraft leagues? Maybe not yet, not until he actually signs, but it is something for me to kind of gauge when I'm looking at those wide receivers as far as Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
Stafford, dude. Not only do we have the Puka injury that always just seems to pop up, now we've got the Stafford injury right now that seems like he's going to see a back specialist week to week, is what they're listing. It's August. It is August right now. Give me some thoughts here on this one.
My worry meter out of a 10 is it's at a 3 still. Like I know he's going to go see a back specialist. I get it. I He's played through injuries before, man. This isn't the first time. I think he's going to be out there week 1. They they spent a ton of money. They got Puka. They have Devontae. Have two comp. This team, honestly, with Stafford, is a Super Bowl contending team.
For sure.
Like I'm a full believer in that. They literally almost beat the Eagles in Philadelphia last year. They came down to like the last play basically. So I'm in the presumption that Stafford's fine. Jimmy G is the backup quarterback. Obviously, Devontae Adams had nightmares with him in Raiders. I also think that was a situation with McDaniels not being a good head coach. I think this is the better backup they've had in a while because they've had like Wolford, they've had some just random guys. I think
Some
Jimmy G
duds.
can run a very competent offense with McVay being the play caller. So I'm okay with it. It might knock down Puka and Devontae a little bit, but it's not going to make it, move the needle. But again, I think Stafford's going to be out there week 1.
I hope he is, but I guess it's just the longevity. If he's already
Yes.
feeling aches and pains, he's going to make it out there for sure for week 1. But how long? How many times does it take him getting sacked for for really bad things to happen there? And Puka Nacua, granted, his rookie year he played the full season, but he missed time last year, and that was kind of a knock on him coming into the NFL, as he did have injury issues, kind of like Lad McConkey there as well. So Amon Ra or Puka, you're still taking Amon Ra?
Yeah, I'm still taking Amon Ra.
Neighbors of Nakua.
I think I'm on the Nakua side there.
Cool. Drawing the line. We got it figured out. Looks like TJ Hawkinson might be dealing with a groin injury. Doesn't seem to be concerned, but just who is JJ throwing to right now? Because if there's a hamstring injury sitting on Justin Jefferson, we've got Addison looking at suspension, and then Hawkinson's messing with a groin injury. Come on, Minnesota.
Yeah, I guess like Naylor's been running with the ones, and if the rookie they just drafted in the 4th round, he's been
Kai
running with the
Felton.
ones. Yeah, Kai
Yeah,
Felton. So like, I mean, the guys that we're saying right now are perfect DraftKings daily lineups in your fantasy. Like those are the guys. Like you have $3,200 left, take a shot. They're gonna get a bunch of snaps. Like for fantasy purposes, I would need to see consistency out of these guys.
for sure. All right, and last thing I have here, it's the Pirate out there with the Chargers. What are we gonna do with him?
It's oh man, I don't want to say it so loud, but everyone already knows it. It's Omarion Hampton, man. It's like so, folks. I don't know if you know this. Najee Harris's rehab for his eye is him walking. I'm sorry, Brian. Like that makes no sense to me. I don't know how that correlates with the eye. I think he's severely injured. I think there is something like how is walking helping your eye? I tried Googling it. It did not make it. ChatGPT. I can't find any correlation with this. So again, Omarion Hampton. Let's just right now. Omarion Hampton's is the starter. Najee Harris is going to be on the IR. If everything's falling in line, where does Hampton now go in your rankings?
He's got to be like 9-ish, I think, for me, 10-ish. I'm still taking Bucky over him. I'm still taking Kyron over him. I'm still taking Chase Brown, Gibbs, Genty. But I think he's in that conversation with like Jonathan Taylor, Omarion Hampton there. Oh wow. Because then I start getting into I've got Kenneth Walker up there. I've got Alvin Kamara up there. James Conner. Oh my gosh, Josh Jacobs. I missed him. Would you take
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs or Omarion Hampton?
Omarion Hampton.
I think they're in the
It's just
same
because
tier
of Greg
for me.
Roman offense. It's just
For sure.
it's just the offense. They want to be a run heavy team, so I'm gonna go with the guy that's gonna be guaranteed touches.
I think it's the pass catching upside that I can see with Josh Jacobs. I think he should be getting fed significantly more than Hampton. Greg Roman traditionally in his offenses, he doesn't do he tosses to the running back, but it's not a lot of targeted passes there. Josh Jacobs looks like he's in line for another great year with Marshawn Lloyd, their backup, still dealing with an injury or another injury, and then these wide
So
receivers are just
annoying,
kind of.
dude. I have like an 18% sharehold in best ball with him. It's so annoying. I'm so over it, man. So over it.
Yeah, I stayed away. I got burned last year. I kind of stayed away a little bit more this year, and I'm feeling better about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, folks, if Najee just if he can't get it figured out, Omarion Hampton is looking like there might not be a ceiling for him this year.
Yeah.
You got anything else for news?
I don't know. Let's get on to these camp battles.
Sweet. Let's get to the camp battles. Alrighty, folks. We got a handful of wide receiver and running back groupings here we're going to talk about. I mean, one of the most head scratching has to be Jacksonville here. Let's talk about running backs. We've got Travis Etienne, we've got Bashal Tooten, and we have Tank Bigsby. As far as ADP goes, they're all in that ambiguous category where you can look at it. You've got Travis Etienne going at running back 34. You've got Bigsby going at 43, and Bashal Tooten going at 44. How are we breaking up this battle here?
From my understanding, is they're pretty split on like taking the snaps right now. Like it's between Tank and ETN. I know Tooten's gotten some mix, but really it's between those two. Brian, do you want to guess how many catches Tank Bigsby had last year?
Uh, less than 10.
You are correct. It's 7.
Oh
So
my God, that's so bad.
yeah. I mean, granted, 766 yards and 7 touchdowns. That is like, it's not bad for being the RB2. He kind of took over. He had 2 games over 20 points in fantasy. I see a world where I could see Tank Bigsby, being the grinder, getting like the goal line and everything else like that. But I like 2-minute offense, passing down plays. It's going to be, ETN. So then it comes down to, what do you think of this team? Do you think this team's going to play with a lead a lot, or do you think this team's going to be in, good battles neck to neck? And I prefer ETN just because of the catching upside. I think Tank Bigsby also a really later on because I think he's going to be the goal line guy. I'm not really in on Tooten. I think Tooten's just like he's an exciting player. One of these guys goes down, he'll definitely get a role, but I think it's between one of those, and you just got to pick your poison.
Oh man. At this point, I really thought Tooten was going to be going a bit higher, and now he's kind of falling off the point where, yeah, I think he's going to be more of a streaming category of player going into these first few weeks till we kind of see the attempts. I don't mind taking a shot. I'm in the camp that I think this is going to be a plus 16 offense. They're going to be in the top half as far as production. I do think that Cohen's going to come in here and fix some of those things. In all honesty, folks, we're talking about 3 fantasy relevant players. They're going to have 4. They've announced that they're going to have 4 running backs. They took Bashal Tooten in the 4th round. They came back and took LaQuint Allen in the 7th round, I believe, 6th or 7th round. Pass catching back. Like, this is the guy that ultimately could be their pass catching back. You've got the home run threat, of course, of Bashal Tooten and then Bigsby and ETN there. The ground and pound from Bigsby, as you were saying, and then what ETN has to offer. So I want a piece. I want to take a shot. I think this offense has a chance of being good, and I don't mind it at the price. At this point in time, though, just because of who's going around Travis Etienne, I kind of like some of those other pieces. So I've kind of found myself Tooten and I'm out. Every now and then, if I'm in a half PPR league and I just kind of punted the running back position, I don't mind Bigsby there, but I'd rather shoot for the upside of the rookie,
Yeah, I think with Etienne it is kind of scary because like he could be second fiddle. Like there's guys like I think like we'll talk about it later in the show, but like another guy like J.K. Dobbins, I think has a little bit of clear role. Yeah, there's other guys we'll be talking about, so I don't want to say their names to spoil it, but there's some other guys there I can see it. But I also don't mind Etienne where he's at. I think that you just got to call your shot with where they're at.
And be okay with moving on quickly.
Yes.
Based on information. Now, if he just has a couple of dud games, but he's still getting 60% of the snaps, maybe we don't rush and drop him. But just understanding that there's going to be some volatility when you're taking these players. So I guess who'd you say your favorite is out of the bunch?
I have more ETN stock than I'd probably like to at this point. Like I definitely have a little bit of Bigsby in there, but like I think it's ETN for me. I just think with the pass catching ability, with Liam Cohen coming into town, we saw what he does with the backfield. I just think that's a little more pivotal. And I guess how I'd look at it, right? If it's standard league, Tank Bigsby for me. It's not really close. If it's when it comes to the half point, full point PPR, I think I'm leaning towards ETN.
Bigsby double-digit touchdowns? It's in the realm of possibilities for him.
Absolutely. I think with a competent offensive play caller like Liam Cohen, I definitely think because he had 7 last year and that offense was just abysmal. So I think it's anything possible.
And to be fair, you could have two of these players be right. Last year, Liam Cohen had Rashad White as a flex-worthy player in a lot of weeks, and then you also had the breakout of Bucky Irving. So don't think that you could be wrong that easily. I think that you could get Bigsby and Tooten be pretty good for the back half of the season. Maybe Etienne and Bigsby start off pretty well here at the
Yeah,
this kickoff.
I agree.
Awesome. Anything else you got with these guys?
No, I mean, I think everyone's really excited for Tooten. I honestly think he's not really worth drafting. I think it's a waiver wire guy. I know everyone's super excited for him, but I just think he's just someone just wait and see. Put a little flag next to him or LaQuint Allen, whoever you like. But I just think it's between Bigsby and Etienne at the moment.
Yeah, especially like if you're in a 10-team league, Tooten's not going to be drafted at all. 12-team,
No.
I could see it depending on how aggressive your league is towards running backs, but there's tons of guys I like as far as dart throws and backup running backs.
Yep.
Alrighty. We'll put them at 2, folks. We put this group at 2 because we don't really want to talk about it, so we're going to get it out of the way. We're going to talk some Josh Downs. We're going to talk some Michael Pittman. Wide receivers for the Colts. Right now, we're seeing the gruesome battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, trying to figure out who that starter is going to be. I think we're both leaning a little Anthony Richardson. As a fantasy fan, I think I'm leaning for Daniel Jones, but as far as what's good for the team, Josh Downs is wide receiver 49 right now, and we've got Pittman going just a bit later. He's going at wide receiver 51. How are we addressing this wide receiver room?
Man, it's tough because it really just comes down to the quarterback play, and it's not fun. It's really both on the same page. We think Josh Downs is the best receiver of this group. Of Pierce, we think he's the most good. Michael Pittman though isn't a slouch. I think Michael Pittman's a great receiver, receiver 2 on a team. Bag house. He's gotten over 1,000 yards before. Last year, he had 808 yards with a broken back. That's honestly impressive when you think about it. So, yeah, horrible quarterback play. It's tough. I think for me, I've been leaning towards Michael Pittman just because I think he beats the ADP where he's at. I think at 49, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he beats ADP. If he plays all season long, regardless of the quarterback play, I think he beats that out because I think he's in on every snap. Josh Downs is if you look at the snap percentages, right, 80, 90, 89, 75, 92, 98, 90. Not like that. He is.
So let me throw this out there. What does Tyler Warren do to this situation? As a team in the Colts last year that threw 71% of the targets to the wide receiver room, 4th in the NFL, they threw 15% to the tight end room. So obviously we're going to see a huge influx to the tight end passes going in there with Anthony Warren. Josh Downs had a 25% target share last year. Michael Pittman had a 24% target share. So now you're shrinking up their pies a little bit on already a smaller passing pie for this team. This team's going to run through Jonathan Taylor. Alec Pierce is getting hyped up by the coaches right now. I think A.D. Mitchell stands a chance to carve out a larger role in this team. Second round pick last year. My issue is kind of the same with the next wide receiver room we're going to talk about. I don't know if it's enough that I want to buy in. I 100% would put money on these guys finishing ahead of their ADP, but how they do it, I don't know if I want a piece of it on my team.
That's true. I agree with that because they could just be scattered games where Michael Pittman gets 10 targets, 9 for 109 and a touchdown. Then the next week it's two receptions for 19 yards, and the next week it's 5 for 42. He can be very much inconsistent. I would say Josh Downs probably has more consistency, but Michael Pittman has more upside.
Yeah,
for the touchdown.
right there. What I'd agree. I think Pittman has a bit of that higher ceiling as far as an individual game. Talent
Mm-hmm.
wise, I would say Josh Downs, but yeah, an individual game I'll give Pittman that just with that side, and then Josh Downs has that higher floor with that target share. But like Pittman last year, games scored over 10.5 points. 29% of his games he hit double digits. It's bad. It's
Not good,
bad.
Bob. Not good.
So again, he gave us he gave us top 10 finish last year. Finished 15, finished 13, finished 23. You didn't pick those games well. If we get consistent quarterback play, maybe that happens. But I don't think that if you missed out on the shot drafting these guys, you can't still go trade for them. If you're like, okay, hey, Anthony's doing what I wanted to see. We're 3 games in. I'm going to go make a move for one of these Colts receivers because most people are going to treat him as wide receiver fours.
Yep, I agree.
Sweet. We'll get the Colts fan out of Indy.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's head over to Wisconsin. It's. I don't have a cheese head. I need a cheese head hat. But let's talk some Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden. Again, these guys they're literally just hanging out with Michael Pittman and Josh Dobbs. Jaden Reed's going as wide receiver 46. Matthew Golden's going as wide receiver 45. God, if we go grab the 49ers wide receivers, we could just talk about all of the 40s wide receivers. But yeah, these guys are scattered across rounds 9 through 11, depending on the platform you play in. Jaden Reed's going in round 11 on ESPN right now. He'll beat that ADP, but at what cost?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm more on the Jaden Reed hype train than I was last year. I think this is time to buy into it. I know they took Matthew Golden. It's the first time an offensive player, and I don't know how long since
It was like 20 some
before
years.
Aaron Rodgers, right?
Oh,
yeah. So this is very exciting for them. Wish it was another player like Luther Burden or something like that. I mean, we both like Golden, but we just thought there's other players that were just a little more valuable in our opinion. So maybe it's just because we're not high on Golden, but Golden's going to carve out a role in this offense, whether we want to believe it or not. Again, it comes down to what I think is the most obvious. This team's going to be what has it's been with Jordan Love. It's going to be scattered. I don't know if someone's going to be the most dominant guy to get snap is going to be leading this team in snaps. If I had to guess, it's Jaden Reed. I've seen him do it before. It's just, is it going to be consistent? That's what it comes down to. And I'll gamble on what I've seen before versus I really wasn't high on this guy. I get it. He has some, nice plays at the University of Texas, but I'll trust Jaden Reed before I trust Matthew Golden.
And that's where I sit on the other side of the fence. Finally, a little back and forth here, folks. Yeah, I am Matthew Golden. Like we were talking Dynasty back in, April, May. Wasn't a pick I selected. I have 0 shares as far as Dynasty goes. Didn't really have a lot of first round picks there, but or second even for that matter. But I was kind of out on him. I am growing more on Matthew Golden at this point that they're going back to back. If I'm going to take a shot on a wide receiver, give me the rookie, give me the unknown, give me the possibility of the one that's stretching the field. We know Jordan Love has a cannon, and that's where I think we can get a lot of big plays is from his ability to do that. Jaden Reed, he's a great slot player. He does just that. It's mind-boggling, though, how they use him. They keep talking about him. I saw a quote from Matt LaFleur. Absolutely could be the case, was the quote, when talking about getting Jaden Reed outside. Absolutely could be the case. So it's feasible. They said this last year. They said this last year, and this is exactly what happened. Romeo Doubs led the team in snaps last year on the highest snap percentage. So, Jaden Reed's just behind that. They just had their family night game. Jaden Reed took 0 slots out wide. Only in the slot is where he was taking shots. Now, I also saw a report that his foot was bothering him a bit. They think it was the cleat, so maybe that's what was holding him out some. Either way, right now, it's not him out there in 2 wide receiver sets. It's Matthew Golden, it's Romeo Doubs. If I'm in a full PPR league, I don't mind kicking the tires at Dobbs if, you're in a 12-plus team league. But Matthew Golden just seems like he has so much more upside. That ceiling is just so much higher that I'm willing to take the shot there.
I mean, it's fair, honestly. Brian, we could both be wrong. It could be like Wicks that leads this team or Mecole Hardman just out of the nowhere. I'm
Christian Watson,
joke,
yeah, okay,
so
let's not be
many
ridiculous
players.
here.
Yeah.
And Tucker Kraft, I actually have him. Like, I have reason to believe he might actually lead this team in target share. Like, that's just the biggest issue. There's so many of these guys. They spread it around. It might be Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, and Bounce. Like, at the end of the day, those might be the only players that actually give us worthwhile. Matthew Golden might blossom at the end of the season, like we usually see from these rookies. But I think it's going to be a headache, and I kind of want out
Yeah. Talk to me next year about Matthew Golden for
for
season
sure.
2. That's probably where I'm at most. The same thing with like Keon Coleman last year. I was like, oh, he's exciting, but I'll wait and see.
Yeah, they even have Savion Williams, who they took in the third round as well. I've seen. I mean, he's a behemoth of a guy, so he's going to be taking those snaps out wide. But what is it? It's Dobbs and Christian Watson are both in a contract year, so I'm interested to see if they bring back Dobbs or if they let both these guys walk, and it kind of cleans up this wide receiver room because right now we have what, seven ish, pass catchers right now that are all viable. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Bo
here I'll
Melton's
list
even
them
out
off for
there.
you. Yeah, so Jaden Reed, Wicks, Melton, Nicole Hardman, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, Savion Williams, Malik Heath. I've used him before. I mean, I've
Hmm.
seen his name before, so it's just like, again, I just would rather have Jordan Love. I'd rather have the guy that's going to throw the football to them than even try to gamble. I don't even want to stack anybody with them. It's such a tough chance to even like call your shot.
All right, do me this then. Rank the last four receivers we've talked about: the two Colts and the two Packers. Rank them with upside and the floor kind of baked in there.
Okay, Reed's one for me. I would say Pittman, Downs, and then Golden is last.
Wow, I think mine is.
Yeah.
I think mine's completely flipped. I would go
Yeah.
Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, Jaden Reed, Michael Pittman.
Okay.
Interesting. Either way, folks,
Good.
we're all probably going to lose taking guys over here. If we're being honest, you got
Yeah.
names like a Mecca Gabuka in here, Khalil Shakir, Cooper Cup, Jacoby Myers, Keon Coleman. It is a dart. It's a crapshoot. That's all we're dealing with here.
But it's one of those guys that's going to win you the league, though, too. That's the crazy thing about it, is that one of those guys we mentioned is going to be a league winner somehow.
Right. Let's go to Chiefs camp here. I feel like this one, it shouldn't be as much of a talk as it is. We've got Pacheco. Evidently, he's running just as hard and as angry as he has been. He's bounced back from the injury. Kareem Hunt got brought back again on this team. He's kind of still some goal line work, I imagine, and just piss you off in a few points in time. And then Rashard Smith, the seventh rounder that has been compared to Jerick McKinnon in too many hype circles. Where are you feeling on these guys? Pacheco's
It's kind of
24.
Yeah, it's crazy that Pacheco broke his fibula, I believe it was, and then came back in week 12 and he just didn't look right. And then a lot of the physical therapists are saying that like it's going to take some time for him to come back from that kind of injury. It's not the same. So I'm kind of in on Pacheco. I think, we were drafting him as like the RB12 last year because we just saw
Yeah.
such a safe floor and everything else like that. I mean, he's in a contract year this year. I definitely could see them, you know, running the wheels off and, going to draft another guy. And then we talk about the next Kansas City Chief running back, or do they take in the second, third round as the next, Clyde Edwards-Helaire like idiots. But I'm going to gamble on Pacheco coming back over the guy, Kareem Hunt, who's almost 30, 8 years in the league. Granted, he looked okay. He was a grinder. He was getting those tough yards. He's not going to break away for a touchdown. He looked a little chunky out there. You know what I mean? Like he a little thick. So I'm more on the Pacheco side.
And he still brought in 7 receptions in the first 2 games before he got injured. So
Absolutely.
I think there's definitely upside to him. Where he's going at RB24, I don't mind that at all, especially in ESPN. So he's going in the 6th round in Sleeper and Yahoo. 8th round, middle of the 8th round on ESPN. I'm taking that swing every day just because outside of the injury, there's no really real reason. Like Andy Reid's not going to pull a guy just because he got injured. Now, if he loses the job, he loses the job. But if it's
Hmm.
basically on the injury and he comes back, he's looking good. I think we're going to see him riding out there as that 65, 35, whatever we see that split between him and Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, the other name we're not mentioning though is the guy they took in I think the 7th round,
Yeah.
Rashard Smith, 5'10", 196 pounds. So he's not going to be. I don't think he's a threat for rushing work, but I think he could be fantasy viable in the receiving game. This guy has hands. He's lined out in the slot. He's already been sprinkled in with the first team offense. I mean, when they had what's his name? Who was the running? He
Jerick
was super.
McKinnon.
Jerick McKinnon. He could be the Jerick McKinnon 2.0, and Jerick McKinnon was very valuable in fantasy. So
That run he had with the Chiefs, starting with Week 13, he finished as RB 16, RB 1, RB 1, RB 21, RB 6. Yeah.
And the reason why I
Yeah.
say that too is because when Mahomes, whenever he faces a defense, they do not want him to throw over the top. And they added Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice will be back. Hollywood Brown will be back too at some point. They have a lot of burners on this offense. So what does that lead for Mahomes to do? Is like, well, I'm just going to throw right there to my left or to my right, and you can do whatever you need to do. So
And every single receiver has had an ailment at some point this offseason. Whether it be a concussion, a hamstring, or jail. Like, we're going to need to throw the ball somewhere, if not to the wide receivers, because Travis Kelce is like turning back time with his appearances, but not his age.
Yeah, Rashard Smith, someone I think he's going to go undrafted, but he's going to be. If I see him out there getting just a little bit of work, I might pick him up week 2, week 3, whatever the case, because I think they're going to start to work him in as that Jerick McKinnon role, and I think he'll be a lot more valuable than people realize.
He's a shot I think I'd take over Tooten in that first week, and then
Yep.
it's kind of eye going forward.
Absolutely.
Next up, we've got Ramondre Stevenson for the Patriots, and Travion Henderson for the Patriots. The rookie went in the second round. Henderson did. Stevenson got re-signed last summer, so he's going to be involved. They really can't get out from underneath his contract, but he fumbled the other day. He might be fumbling his way into just sitting on the bench making 14 plus million, however much it is. Henderson, I feel like you and I have been back and forth all summer. We're a little in, we're a little out. Last, I feel like I remember you saying you were pulling out a little bit more on him. He's going as running back 25. Have you kind of settled with your thoughts on him?
So out of the beat writers are saying that he is the best player on offense, and it's not close. So sways me a little bit, but again, at the end of the day, I think if it's a full point PPR league, I'm all in on Henderson.
Yeah.
We've touched this before. Like, McDaniels has made James White fantasy relevant for years, and I think he is James White 2.0 and even better. So, but when it comes to like half point or standard, I'm in on Ramondre though, because I think he's still going to get the goal line work, the short yardage plays and everything else like that.
Ramondre is going as wide receiver 36 around names like Travis Etienne, Jordan Mason, Javonte Williams, J.K. Dobbins. And then you got Henderson going around R.J. Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson. I think I might be just a touch lower on Travion Henderson as far as his draft value. This might be something that really starts blowing up here multiple weeks into the season. Could be wrong. He could come out right off the beat, but I think a lot of it has to be you have to be in on Henderson or Diggs. Like, one of those two guys is going to one of the two of them will be top 2 in receptions on this team, if not both of them. Just the way it's stretching out. We have so many question marks in this wide receiver room. It's hard not to it's enticing. I think he's caught 3 touchdown passes already through camp, and those highlights look so good. So I'm trying to navigate through, not aggressively putting up in the top 20, but he's right there as a fringe RB2, RB3 for me right now. But I'm out on Ramondre. Want no bit of it.
I mean, I'm okay with Ramondre with where he's going. He's super late. I know he's going to get some touches here and there. So I mean, that's where I'm okay with it. I'm not obviously I do not want him as my RB2 or a flex play, but it's more of a depth bench piece, so to speak.
He's going to fumble by week 2, and I just think they're going to rip him a new one on the sideline. This new coaching staff, I don't think is going to put up with this. Not that Bill ever did, but I don't know. I'm kind of out on Steven. I don't want to play the game.
Fair enough. Yeah, I get it. He had the fumbles last year, and he's still having a little bit of issues. It's just I think when it comes down to it, they're not going to put Henderson on the goal line of the 1 yard. When it's the goal line, they need a touchdown on the 1 yard line. I think it's be Stevenson pounding it in. So like I think that's where I'm at with the value. He could be like a who was it for the Lions that 1 year where he had like all he led league in touchdowns.
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams. I could see something like that similar for Ramondre Stevenson. They just they're at the 1 yard line, just give the ball to Ramondre.
Right, he's big enough to do it. He's a
Yeah.
large fella. We got two more groups we're going to touch on here. I feel like it's a very similar-esque situation here. We've got Dylan Samson of the Cleveland Browns, the fourth-round rookie, the second running back they took after Quinshon Judkins, who still hasn't signed his deal. We still haven't gotten any more information on that, so we're not even touching that. We are looking at Samson, and then Jerome Ford, who we thought was going to be an afterthought, came back to the team on cheaper money because they didn't think they had to keep him. At this point, Samson has the highest ceiling. Like there's all the
Yes.
unknowns with him, but he's really good between the tackles, and Ford is the check down guy. This team's going to be throwing a whole lot. Joe Flacco doesn't like to get hit, so he's going to be dumping off like crazy. I don't think there's a reason why we couldn't expect 5+ targets a game going to Jerome Ford.
I'm actually a big Samson guy. So like just recently, he's been playing a little bit in the slot. He's gone in the plays on third down. We sprinkled in a little bit on second down. The running backs coach, I mean, he came out and flat out said, like, I think he could lead this team in touches from the backfield. So that's coming from the running back coach. So I'm kind of, I mean, Dylan Sampson, once the Junkin news hit and he hasn't signed his deal yet, let me ask you this. Do you think Judkins plays a game this year?
I think that it's not as high of a problem. I think it's a higher probability than most people think that he could not play. Like he's out eight to a full season. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities this year.
I could see him being suspended for 8 games, but then the Browns are just like, let's just.
Yeah, every team might just avoid him this year, and they'll reevaluate in the spring, which I don't think is a crazy idea.
Yeah, so I'm more in on Dylan Sampson. His current ADP, I think right now is the cheapest you're going to see it because once it comes to like your drafts times in a couple weeks, I think he's going to move up a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right now, he's going in the 14th round in a lot of leagues, so virtually undrafted, one of those last picks. So with that, I'm kind of okay with him sitting there and giving me a little bit more time to decide whether I want to pull the trigger. But as far as explosion, I think this was one of the most explosive backs we had in this class, despite him. I think we had him somewhere like between 5 and 10 as far as the running back in our ranks, as far as the rookies, but definitely excited. It's just how many, it's kind of the same thing with Jerome or with Judkins this year is I was nervous about how many opportunities was he actually going to get, or at least running the ball. Judkins, he has a slight passing profile, not near as good as Samson's. Not that his is amazing, but I guess that's my biggest question with him. I'll ask this question actually after we get out of these guys. Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue. Javonte Williams is hanging out there with those other guys we were talking about, Ramondre Stevenson, and then Jaden Blue, near and dear to Brennan's heart over here, going in the 12th to 14th round. He's hanging out with guys like Dylan Sampson, Jerome Ford, Ray Davis, Bachel Tooten. Give me your thoughts on this team then.
I need a soundbite for "You're My Boy Blue." I need that soundbite, Sam Brian.
Noted.
Again, we saw what Javonte was. He's just not good, man. Like I'm looking at his stat line for Denver last year, who, by the way, had one of the best offensive lines last year. So like, was an excuse. He was 2 years removed from ACL, so it's not like it was hampering or anything like that. And it's just he's not good. Hey, Brian, there's a game I'm looking at. He had 8 attempts for -2 yards. He had a game with 4 attempts for 1 yard. I just don't know what to tell you. Like the dude's not good.
Look, it wasn't just a simple ACL injury. He tore multiple things. Sometimes it takes multiple years. I guess I'm just
So
not
it takes 3
completely
years.
torn on the third year. The third year he rises again. I think there's a story about that. Uh, but I don't know. I guess I'm not just the dude's not that old. Like, yeah, he just turned 25. He still should be in the prime of all of that. I get it. It wasn't pretty, but just where it is, this offense should be terrible. And just the check down ability. Now I get it. Blue has the same pass catching, abilities that he has,
Better.
and he's more
Better.
explosive. Yes, we're getting there, but they can both catch passes. They can both catch passes, and Javonte Williams can pass block. Blue did too, so I'm not knocking him there. I think the veteran, like we said, we put up a bet last time. I think he'll maintain top 24 RBs through the first. I said 8. I should have said 6, but we said 8
You
weeks.
could have said 3, brother. You could say whatever number you want. I think
See,
it's
I
a bad bet.
overshot it. I didn't want to spook you with the
Yeah, I
6, and I'm
know.
like, should have gone in lower.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as far as these late shot running backs, then we've got Tooten, we've got Samson, Blue. Who are you? I guess order those 3 for me.
Samson, Blue, and Tooten. Only reason I would change Blue if it's a full point PPR because I genuinely think the Cowboys are going to be a pass heavy team. Will you agree with that?
100%.
Okay. I think they're going to be a lot more shootout games. They're
Like
going to be
top
down
10.
a lot. Yeah, I think they're going to be down in a lot of games, and they will not need Javonte out there. They're going to need a guy who can catch the ball, and it'll be Jaden Blue out there. I even think, honestly, I think Miles Sanders is a little bit better than Javonte Williams.
Okay.
So,
okay. I was with you for a little bit. I was willing to take it, but no way. Miles Sanders? No.
There's nothing about Javonte Williams that I'm just like, yeah, they should be super exciting. Like Jaden Blue has already been running with the ones. So that report came out where he's lack an effort and everything else like that, which I guess was already debunked. So again, asking me who I want to own out of the Cowboys backfield is Jaden Blue, and I don't think it's really close.
Goodness. If I had to rank them, oh man. I'd probably go Samson, Tooten, Blue. But they're all pretty close.
Okay.
And it's not a knock on Blue. It's just I think Samson has the. Oh God, I don't know. They're all it's an ambiguous backfield for a reason, folks. That's why we're taking them where we are.
They all Tooten in points.
You said what?
Can we make a bet that Blue outscores Tooten in points since you think he's going to be better in the rankings?
Points per game or season long?
Season long.
Yeah, I'll take that. All
right.
Where's my sticky notes?
I like free bets. I like free wins.
Tooten over Blue. All right. Bam. Nice. Putting it up there, folks. That's it. That's all we have for the camp battles. We got to hop off camera and do a little battling our own, it seems like, all the slander to Javonte Williams. But, folks, if you're looking for more of us, come check us out on our other YouTube channel, the Too Much Fantasy Football channel. We've got all of our other content hitting there. If you're looking just for anything I've been putting out, it's at @too_much_Brian on X, @too_much_Brian, everything else. Don't forget the Too Much Movie Night. Brandon, where you at? Where are these people finding you and your terrible takes?
My wonderful takes? Yeah, I'm on X. Yeah, X at Too Much B-Mulk.
Come let them know. Where's the Javonte hive? We're going to come find Brennan and harass him a little bit this week.
Dude, if there's any Javonte Williams stands out there, I'm sorry. That's a terrible thing to be a stand over.
At this point in 2025, 100%. Oh, folks, we're wrapping it up. We're getting out of here. We appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe if you're here on YouTube on the podcast. Do the same. Give us a review. We appreciate it. And we'll get out of here. We'll see you next time. Later.